Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back again to Different Opinions. So we're going to be looking at a few crazy kind of teachers, super absolute woke people. Scares me for having children in the future. I mean, obviously looking to have kids in the next few years, and if these are what some of the teachers are like, it makes you really wonder, right? I mean, what happens to them for 8 hours a day or 6 hours a day, whatever they're at school, and they're with one of these people? Like that would absolutely freak me out. And no wonder why this kind of ideology is being pushed on little kids is because of creepos like this. These people need to be called out, and more. That's why we need to make these videos, is just to show how psycho these people are. But anyway, let's get into it today. And before we do, if you do enjoy the video, please leave a like, comment as well. I want to know what you think. What do you think about these crazy teachers? And then also please subscribe, as 90% of viewers aren't, and we know that YouTube doesn't like us talking about this. So if you subscribe, you're able to see my videos. Let's get into it.
I'm a fourth grade teacher, and I do a lot of work with social justice and equity in my classroom. We have racialized conversations all the time.
I'm sure that's healthy.
Hannah Fandon Steele am a racist. I am a product of the white dominant structure I was raised in. My people have done an excellent job lifting each other up. Unfortunately, that was on the backs of people of color. Because this is deeply embedded in my history, it is no wonder I was passed down views that are racially problematic. Even though white supremacy can be unconscious, it is constant. Living in this society would have been a miracle for me to be anything but racist. Now that I know I have deeply rooted racist tendencies, I can constantly be looking and listening for how they surface in my life.
So she's just straight up saying that she's a racist, and it's not her fault that she's racist. It's actually because of the system. Yeah, okay. That is one of the worst and most wild takes I've ever seen. And this is a fourth grade teacher. If you got a kid in fourth grade, yeah, I'd be worrying. I would want to meet my teachers. I would want to know who they are if these are the psychos that are teaching them. And if your kid is white, yeah, she's probably saying that you are a racist, and it's not because it's your fault. It's actually because of the elders and also your great-grandfathers, because it's the system. It's the system's fault that you're racist. It just, yeah, it's kind of cuckoo, right?
And when a person of color gives me feedback for not being a good ally, I can say thank you.
Ally. This good ally thing is,
Good ally, I can say thank you and not get defensive. Something here I said could have been problematic
Just
because I'm
looks
always
crazy too.
learning.
Why are your eyes like that?
I am an out teacher at my school, out as both bisexual and trans, and a lot of other teachers on TikTok were wondering how I managed coming out to my students. And it's a really interesting story. So this was right before the pandemic. I came back to my school after being away from it for a while, during which time I transitioned. So none of the kids knew me as trans, but I wanted to talk about it. So what I did is, as soon as I came back, I joined up with the GSA, realized how many questions the kids had, and decided the best thing to do.
First of all, I just got to stop it. It's just like, I don't think that should be the kid's problem, right? In my opinion, like, I think that's just distracting them from their schoolwork.
It would be to host a Q&A. So the kids made up a whole bunch of flyers, and then one day during lunch, we hosted the tea talk. It was a triple entendre of T as in trans, T as in spilling the tea, and T as in we literally served them tea. It was great. It was a huge success. So many people showed up. We didn't have nearly enough tea for everyone. And I spent about 10 minutes talking about the difference between gender, sex, and sexual orientation, and then also talking about my own life story, sort of like the highlight.
Story time. This has been my first year in preschool with a class of my own.
All right, this is a straight startup. This person looks creepy. And also with the last one, the 3 T's thing about teaching school students about being trans and stuff, was that passed down through, did the parents know about this? I just always want to know, what would the parents do if every single one of those kids' parents knew what they were talking about? Now back to this creepo looking girl.
Class of my own, teaching alongside another queer neurodivergent educator, and we have been rocking our Choose class. We've been talking.
Let's just remember, this is preschool that this person is talking about, all right? Just remember that.
About gender and skin color and consent and empathy and our bodies and autonomy. It's been fabulous. But our
What the? This is to preschool kids, already teaching them about how just because someone's skin color is different, that you should be treating everyone differently. This is where it starts. And then they're talking about gender and all these type of sexuality to preschool kids. To me, just in my opinion, that face is literally the face of evil. They attack kids who can't fend for themselves. Like, they can't think for themselves yet. They're just like a sponge. They're learning every single thing you tell them. So if you tell them it's good to be a trans, they're more likely to be trans. If you tell them it's good to be that you shouldn't like yourself because you got white skin, they probably won't like themselves because they got white skin. Like, these things, this is where the ideology is the scariest, is when they try and teach these kids. That I reckon people like this should be, first of all, not near kids, in my opinion, should not be near anyone. They should nearly be arrested. Well, I think they should be arrested, really, because that is creepy.
Teaching team is shifting and a new person is being onboarded, someone with many years of experience. So today at the lunch table, when the topic of gender and genitals came up, one of our students plainly looked up and said, "Well, I'm a girl today, but I know that teacher Co isn't. No, they're envy." And the look on the incoming teacher's face was priceless. She was shocked in a good way, and she just looked around at the two of us and said, "This class is incredible, and I am so impressed."
Yeah. So these people are teaching your kids or someone's kids without them knowing what they're teaching them. Yeah, it's freaking insane.
My name's Josh. I use they, them pronouns in English, ella and Espanol, and I got a lot of questions like this. So how do I bring this up to my teacher? How do you talk to colleagues about it? How do people respond to you? So where I work, everybody was really receptive. They wanted to learn more about it. It's been a slow process, but they're learning more and they're integrating it. And this is across languages, so I feel super lucky. However, I know that's not the case for a lot of people. All I can say is that try to talk to your teacher about it and explain to them that this is what non-binary people are doing in the language, and that by not including language like this in the classroom, it's making people who are non-binary or maybe are non-binary and they don't know feel unsafe, and that it's actually transphobic, and that they're excluding people's identity in the classroom and making them not feel safe when using that language. So that's all I can say. It's really difficult if people are resistant to it, but
yeah, look, Karen is transphobic. If you don't include every single freaking gender, every single little person out in the world, you don't say it the proper way, then you are apparently being transphobic. And, you know, they're going to try and cancel you. They're going to make you lose your job. There's a point now where I think people are starting to realize how ridiculous this is. I think people are realizing that we're not going to put up with this anymore. Look how far the country's gone into dismay. I mean, you look at the UK, you look at the US, you look at, even here in Australia, you look at many kind of progressive countries out there, the Western, and you see how it's the downfall of society in recent times. It's because everyone's trying to please everyone, and you can't. There's a reason why there's rules. There's a reason why there's laws, and that is to set boundaries. Look, are they always correct, the rules and laws? No, they're not always correct, but it is a way to keep the psycho, the crazies like these people at bay. And I think, you know, like I say, if you're an adult and you want to be trans, if you want to be whatever you want to be, that's fine. You can do that. I mean, you're an adult. You can consent for your own thoughts. It's your body. Do whatever the heck you want, right? But if you're trying to help kids do these things, and if kids want to do it, I don't think that's correct. I just think that is weird, and you should wait till they're an adult before you start indoctrinating them. Because at the young age, the young minds, you know how you are when you're a young kid. When you're 10, 11, 12, 13, you don't feel like you fit in. Some people don't. Like, I mean, I was lucky. My schooling life was easy. I enjoyed it. But a lot of people don't feel like they fit in because they're a little bit different, because they're a little bit this or whatever, they got different thoughts. And then along come these creeps online, these weirdos, these absolute sickos, in my opinion. They come out and like, oh, you should do this, you should do that. I felt the same. This is what you should do. Because they feel that, just because it might have worked for them, it should work for everyone. And there's a reason why the depression rate, all these type of things are through the roof for people that are trans, etc., especially after they get surgeries. It's because they realize, oh, this was a bad mistake, but oh no, I can't freaking reverse it. This is one thing they don't tell these kids that make these stupid decisions. They don't tell them it's irreversible. But anyway, I'll end it on that one. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, comment as well. I mean, what would you do if you found out this was happening to your kid, if you have kids, or what would you do if you're seeing this happening around you? Let me know in the comments below. And like I said, please subscribe. It's the best way to support the channel. And you'll be able to see my videos, especially when YouTube tries to silence us. But anyway, I'll see you on the next one.